Hi and welcome to this week's video. I'm not quite sure what we're going to get done completed this week, but the plan is to work on the rudder, clear the bench, possibly look at bits like the fin and stuff like that and see if there's any loose ends I can start to clear away until such time as I can build the wing. So there's a few little bits and pieces I want to play with, so let's see what I get up to. Catch you in a mo! Hi and welcome to the channel. In these videos I show my build of a Fisher Youngster biplane kit, and it's not meant to be instructional, but it's meant for you to have a bit of entertainment seeing how I go about building this aircraft and hopefully get a few hints and tips that might help you out to build your own aircraft. Let's face it, if I can do it, you can do it. I've varnished the inside of the box here, but I've just checked on the video footage that I had, and the card was corrupted, so I had to put a different SD card in to show you all the work which has been lost on video. I previously, if you look back on to the rudder build or tailplane build videos, I'll try to put a link somewhere up in the corner to the last part of the rudder. I made up a plate here, a plywood plate, so I could put anchor nuts in rather than having a slot in the side as shown on the plans where you try to feed a bolt down through into the horn. I've set it up so I've actually got anchor nuts. These are stiff nuts, but even so I will drill the heads of the bolts so I can wire lock the Americans call it, safety wire the bolts into position. And I've already drilled through for those for the bolts, and I've put in bushings as per the plans, except for the fact the bushings are about 1/8 of an inch short, so that I can actually dress back into the bottom section of the framework here to take the rudder horn. So the rudder horn will be inset. That's mainly for the purpose of locking the horn in against the edges, so it's not producing such a shear load on the bolts. So I have the two bolts going through, but so it doesn't have such a shear load just relying on the bolts. It's actually also going to be locked onto the wood either side. It's also allows, the sort of secondary reason, it's allowing for the fact I've got this 1/8 inch ply here. So the bolt length would not be sufficient at the A4-12 A's, which would normally go into here. Even so, I found to match up with these nuts, it needs to be -13 A's. So I'm going to be using -13 A's to go through. So now that this is all had its coats of varnish, as you can see, just to that sort of just slight sheen, that's all it needs. I can now bond this on to here, so that can be bonded. That'll close the box off, and then I'll go around with a edge router. Okay, so let's get things sorted out. So I've got slight excess lip around the edge here, as I sort of set it up to be, and down the edge there. So I'm going to use a router. So I'm just going to clamp this to the bench in a format so I can actually get the router into the areas I want it to be. So that's done the first section. I'm now going to set up the router just to do the edging here. Okay, so I've got a block in here. I've got a small round over bit, which is just slightly bigger than an eighth, and we'll do our best going around here then. So now with the transition from here to here, because of the way there's a slope and bits, the router won't quite do it, so it's a case of just using, to start off with, some 60 grit. Just break the back of that. Right. If you do that, the strip becomes far more flexible and less likely to kink, so breaking the back of it really helps. Now I can go, I'll just have to put a clamp on there as well to help hold that in place. Just helps with the whole transition. I won't bore you with the whole thing going through, but that's how I do it. I'll go down to 120 grit and then 320. So now, having stropped it with the strip stuff, I'm just using my shaped foam block. We've done this before when we did the tailplane elevators and horizontal stabilizer and the rest of the rudder. It's just shaped so we get it on, having broken the back of the paper again so that it forms. Well, if you just go around, that just helps to smooth things out, gets that last little bit. Now I tend to use my hands to feel rather than my eyes to see whether the shape is right. I can sort of feel it, where your eyes get drawn by coloration on the wood. That feels great. So I've routed in just slightly over the thickness of the rudder horn. The idea being that there's going to be covering inside and that, which will might build up just a little bit. So we're in just over 1/8 of an inch, and just double checking that is at 90 degrees, no gaps, so we are spot on there. That's really firm because that's keyed in. There's no way that can twist in there, so it reduces that load on the bolts, as I said. Just makes it a little bit stronger and makes it a little bit sort of more finished, I suppose, going down the side there. So that's it on the rudder now. I've just got to give it just a final light sanding, and we can put some varnish on it. Yes! Well, it might not appear like a lot's happened this week, but lots of little bits have been going on. I've been cleaning up the ribs, ready to put the T-pieces on, so when I start building the wings, they're ready to go. Still got to make up the 2 specialist ribs, which I can't do until I've got the fuel tanks, which should be with me probably by the time you see this video. What else have I been doing? Well, I've been playing with the rudder. You saw the fact how I did the box section with the anchor nuts so I could screw on the horn, and how I've put the slot in to locate that. That has now had its first coat of varnish, and that's going to sit there and dry for a little bit of time. And in addition to that, the workbench has been cleared, and I've set up the centre posts for the wing sweep for the upper wings. So, a productive week. Not particularly exciting, but it's all been good. Catch you next week. Bye now.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. You can subscribe or even hit the little bell notification for future videos. Any comments would be appreciated and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, go fly and feel the sky.